I am in Carthage, Missouri today, here in Central Park, standing next to the Marlin Perkins statue. A lot of folks probably have driven by and seen this statue, and maybe some know the story and some saw it and were curious. But you know, a lot of folks know Marlin Perkins from Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom, or before that he even did a show called Zoo Parade. But a lot of folks may not know the connection Marlin Perkins has to Carthage, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. In 1900, Joseph and Minta May Perkins purchased this house on Main Street here in Carthage, and in 1905 they welcomed their youngest son, Richard Marlin Perkins. It was in this house also that Marlin became very ill with pneumonia, and Minta May dedicated her time to helping him heal. But unfortunately in the process she became ill with pneumonia as well, and she passed away. After the passing of his mother, Marlin's father sent the two older boys off to private school and sent Marlin off to Pittsburgh, Kansas, to his Aunt Laura's farm. He stayed there and went to school until 8th grade, and then at that time he went to Wentworth Military Academy. Marlin did come back to Carthage, and he is a 1923 graduate of Carthage High School, which is the old high school right here behind me, which would be the one that he would have graduated from. So Judge Perkins lived at the Main Street address until about 1920, and at that time he decided to move into some smaller locations. We do know at some point that they lived out here just off of Fairview on this farm. We don't know exactly what time that was, but Marlin remembers this time pretty fondly of catching the baby mice and some snakes and grubs, beetles and such. He said this was just a great place for a kid to grow up. It's said that Marlin came back to Carthage often to visit classmates, attend the class reunions, and in 1984 he came back and was honored along with his wife Carol to be the Grand Marshals of the Maple Leaf Parade. It was just a couple years later that Marlin would pass away from cancer. Marlin's last trip to Carthage was actually in 2013, when his ashes were returned to Carthage just shortly after Carol's death. And both he and Carol are laid here to rest in Park Cemetery on the west side of town. Hopefully you guys had a great time learning a little bit more about Marlin Perkins and his ties to Carthage, Missouri. And if you did, then just click that like button down below. If you have any memories of Marlin Perkins in this area, please feel free to share those in the comments. I'd love to hear those as well. But I'd love to just take a minute to thank Michelle Hansford and the Powers Museum. Although they're closed right now due to COVID-19, she was a great resource to me, providing me with some information and some links through Messenger, actually. And so I'd like to thank her. I will actually include all of my sources in the comments below, so if you guys want to dig a little deeper and learn a little bit more, that'll be available to you. Thanks again.